According to the 2020 National Electrical Code, each bedroom in a dwelling unit is required to have its own arc fault circuit interrupter, or AFCI, circuit. This means that a single AFCI breaker must protect all 120-volt, 15-ampere, and 20-ampere branch circuits that supply outlets or devices located within an individual bedroom. The requirement applies to both new construction projects and remodeling jobs. The purpose of AFCI protection is to detect dangerous electrical arcs that can occur in branch circuits. These arcs can be caused by damaged wiring, loose connections, or faulty appliances. If an AFCI device detects an arc, it will quickly trip the circuit breaker, cutting off the flow of electricity and preventing a potential fire. The National Electrical Code Section 210.12 states that all 120-volt, single-phase, 15 and 20-ampere branch circuits supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling units, kitchens, family rooms, dining rooms, living rooms, parlors, libraries, dens, bedrooms, sunrooms, recreation rooms, closets, hallways, laundry areas, or similar rooms or areas shall be protected by any of the means described in 210.12, A1 through A6. This includes AFCIs. The reason for requiring individual AFCI protection for each bedroom is to enhance safety. Bedrooms are often occupied while people are sleeping, making them more vulnerable to the dangers of electrical fires. By providing dedicated AFCI protection for each bedroom, the risk of a fire is significantly reduced. When installing AFCI breakers, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. AFCI breakers are more sensitive than standard circuit breakers, and they may trip if there are any wiring errors or other issues in the circuit. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to install AFCI breakers. Now, let's delve into the specifics of AFCI protection as outlined in the National Electrical Code. Section 210.12 provides comprehensive requirements for arc fault circuit interrupter protection. The code mandates that AFCI protection be installed in specific areas of dwelling units to mitigate the risk of electrical fires. This section aims to enhance safety by addressing potential hazards associated with arc faults, which can occur due to damaged wiring, loose connections, or faulty appliances. The National Electrical Code defines an arc fault as an unintentional arcing condition in a circuit. These arcs generate intense heat, which can ignite surrounding materials and lead to a fire. AFCI devices are designed to detect these arc faults and quickly de-energize the circuit, preventing the fire from starting or spreading. Section 210.12 of the National Electrical Code specifically addresses AFCI protection for dwelling units. It states that all 120-volt, single-phase, 15 and 20-ampere branch circuits supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling units must be protected by an AFCI device. This requirement applies to various areas within the dwelling unit, including kitchens, family rooms, dining rooms, living rooms, parlors, libraries, dens, bedrooms, sunrooms, recreation rooms, closets, hallways, laundry areas, or similar rooms or areas. The AFCI protection can be provided by different means as described in Section 210.12, A1 through A6. These options include the use of combination type AFCI circuit breakers, which provide protection against both series and parallel arc faults, as well as outlet branch circuit AFCIs, which protect the branch circuit wiring and cord sets plugged into outlets. The National Electrical Code also addresses specific requirements for AFCI protection in certain areas of dwelling units. For example, Section 210.12 B covers AFCI protection for branch circuit extensions or modifications. When extending or modifying existing branch circuits in areas where AFCI protection is required, the extension or modification must also be protected by an AFCI device. This ensures that the entire circuit, including the new extension, is protected against arc faults. In addition to the requirements for dwelling units, the National Electrical Code also addresses AFCI protection for other types of occupancies. For instance, Section 210.12 C covers AFCI protection for guest rooms and guest suites in hotels and motels. These areas are also required to have AFCI protection to enhance safety for occupants. It is important to note that the National Electrical Code is a comprehensive document, and it is essential to consult the latest edition for the most up-to-date requirements. The National Electrical Code is revised and updated every 3 years to reflect advancements in technology and address emerging safety concerns. When installing or working with AFCI devices, it is crucial to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. AFCI devices are sensitive electronic components, and they must be installed and wired correctly to function properly. Incorrect installation can lead to nuisance tripping or failure to detect arc faults, compromising the safety of the electrical system. Furthermore, it is recommended to test AFCI devices periodically to ensure they are functioning correctly. AFCI circuit breakers typically have a test button that can be used to simulate an arc fault and verify that the device trips as intended. Regular testing helps to identify any potential issues with the AFCI device and ensures that it is providing the necessary protection. In summary, the National Electrical Code mandates AFCI protection for 120-volt single-phase, 15 and 20 ampere branch circuit supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling units. This requirement applies to various areas within the dwelling unit, including bedrooms, kitchens, and living rooms. AFCI devices are designed to detect arc faults and quickly de-energize the circuit, preventing electrical fires. It is essential to follow the National Electrical Code and the manufacturer's instructions when installing and working with AFCI devices to ensure the safety of the electrical system. Now let's discuss some common misconceptions about AFCI protection. One common misconception is that AFCI devices are only required for new construction. However, the National Electrical Code also requires AFCI protection for branch circuit extensions or modifications in areas where AFCI protection is already required. This means that if you are adding a new outlet or modifying an existing circuit in a bedroom, you must also install an AFCI device to protect the entire circuit. Another misconception is that AFCI devices are only necessary in older homes with outdated wiring. While it is true that older homes may be more prone to arc faults due to aging wiring, AFCI protection is also important in newer homes. Arc faults can occur in any electrical system regardless of its age, due to factors such as damaged wiring, loose connections, or faulty appliances. Furthermore, some people believe that AFCI devices are too sensitive and cause nuisance tripping. While it is true that AFCI devices can sometimes trip due to non-hazardous conditions, such as certain types of electronic equipment, the benefits of AFCI protection far outweigh the inconvenience of occasional nuisance tripping. AFCI devices are designed to detect potentially dangerous arc faults that could lead to a fire, and they should not be disabled or bypassed. If you are experiencing frequent nuisance tripping with an AFCI device, it is important to investigate the cause of the tripping and address any underlying electrical issues. This may involve inspecting the wiring, checking for loose connections, or replacing faulty appliances. In some cases, it may be necessary to consult with a qualified electrician to diagnose and resolve the problem. It is also important to understand the difference between AFCI and ground fault circuit interrupter, or AFCI, protection. While both AFCI and AFCI devices are designed to protect against electrical hazards, they protect against different types of hazards. AFCI devices protect against arc faults, which can cause fires, while AFCI devices protect against ground faults, which can cause electrical shock. AFCI protection is typically required in areas where there is a risk of contact with water, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. It is important to use the correct type of protection for the specific hazard. In summary, AFCI protection is an important safety measure that is required by the National Electrical Code in various areas of dwelling units. AFCI devices protect against arc faults, which can cause fires, and they should not be disabled or bypassed. If you have any questions or concerns about AFCI protection, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician. Let's explore the different types of AFCI devices available and their specific applications. Combination type AFCI circuit breakers are the most common type of AFCI device. These circuit breakers provide protection against both series and parallel arc faults. A series arc fault occurs when there is a break in a single conductor, while a parallel arc fault occurs when there is a short circuit between two conductors. Combination type AFCI circuit breakers are designed to detect both types of arc faults and quickly de-energize the circuit. Outlet branch circuit AFCIs are another type of AFCI device. These devices are installed at the outlet location and provide protection for the branch circuit wiring and cord sets plugged into the outlet. Outlet branch circuit AFCIs are typically used in situations where it is not practical to install a combination type AFCI circuit breaker at the panel board, such as in older homes with limited panel space. Dual function AFCI/GFCI circuit breakers are a combination of both AFCI and GFCI protection in a single device. These circuit breakers provide protection against both arc faults and ground faults, and they are typically used in areas where both types of protection are required, such as bathrooms and kitchens. When selecting an AFCI device, it is important to consider the specific requirements of the application and the type of protection needed. Combination type AFCI circuit breakers are generally recommended for most applications, as they provide the most comprehensive protection against arc faults. However, outlet branch circuit AFCIs may be a better option in certain situations, such as when upgrading older homes. It is also important to ensure that the AFCI device is properly rated for the circuit it is protecting. AFCI circuit breakers are available in different ampere ratings, and it is important to select a circuit breaker that is rated for the appropriate current. Using an AFCI circuit breaker with an incorrect ampere rating can lead to nuisance tripping or failure to provide adequate protection. In addition to selecting the correct type and rating of AFCI device, it is also important to install the device correctly. AFCI circuit breakers and outlet branch circuit AFCIs must be wired according to the manufacturer's instructions, and they must be properly grounded. Incorrect wiring or grounding can lead to nuisance tripping or failure to provide adequate protection. Furthermore, it is important to test AFCI devices after installation to ensure that they are functioning correctly. AFCI circuit breakers and outlet branch circuit AFCIs typically have a test button that can be used to simulate an arc fault and verify that the device trips as intended. Regular testing helps to identify any potential issues with the AFCI device and ensures that it is providing the necessary protection. In summary, there are different types of AFCI devices available, including combination type AFCI circuit breakers, outlet branch circuit AFCIs, and dual function AFCI/GFCI circuit breakers. When selecting an AFCI device, it is important to consider the specific requirements of the application and the type of protection needed. It is also important to install the device correctly and test it after installation to ensure that it is functioning properly. Understanding the nuances of AFCI installation and troubleshooting can prevent common issues and ensure optimal performance. Firstly, proper wiring is paramount. Ensure all connections are tight and secure, following the manufacturer's instructions meticulously. Loose connections can mimic arc faults, leading to nuisance tripping. Secondly, grounding is crucial. A properly grounded circuit provides a safe path for fault current, preventing shock hazards and ensuring the AFCI functions correctly. Verify the grounding system is intact and meets code requirements. Thirdly, compatibility is key. Ensure the AFCI device is compatible with the wiring system and the load it will be protecting. Using an incompatible device can lead to malfunction or failure. Fourthly, load considerations are important. Avoid overloading the circuit protected by the AFCI. Overloads can cause the AFCI to trip, disrupting power and potentially damaging equipment. Distribute the load evenly across multiple circuits if necessary. Fifthly, appliance compatibility should be checked. Some appliances, such as older motors or electronic devices with switching power supplies, can generate electrical noise that may cause AFCI nuisance tripping. Consider using a different appliance or a line filter to mitigate the noise. Sixthly, testing is essential after installation and periodically thereafter. Use the test button on the AFCI device to verify that it trips properly. This confirms that the AFCI is functioning correctly and will protect against arc faults. Seventhly, documentation is important. Keep a record of the AFCI installation, including the date, location, and type of device installed. This information can be helpful for future troubleshooting or maintenance. Eighthly, troubleshooting nuisance tripping requires a systematic approach. Start by identifying any potential sources of electrical noise or interference. Check for loose connections, damaged wiring, or faulty appliances. Ninthly, consult with a qualified electrician if you are unable to resolve nuisance tripping issues. An electrician can use specialized equipment to diagnose the problem and recommend appropriate solutions. Tenthly, stay informed about code updates and best practices. The National Electrical Code and industry standards are constantly evolving, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements and recommendations. By following these tips, you can ensure that AFCI devices are installed and maintained properly, providing reliable protection against arc faults and enhancing electrical safety.